Hey guys, it's me, Brianna, and this is going to be a foundation video. I'm going to show you my foundations that I currently have. I'm going to give you some foundation tips, some foundation suggestions. I get so many questions on foundation. It is just crazy how many people want to know about foundations. Now, I realize foundation is a case-by-case basis. Some people like liquid foundation, people like powder foundation, some people like tinted moisturizers, people like BB creams. What's the difference between all of those? BB creams, it's pretty much, it stands for beauty balm. I really think BB creams and tinted moisturizers are pretty much the same thing. They're both a very light coverage moisturizer that usually includes maybe an SPF. It's very light, so if you don't like a lot of foundation or you want some just very light, just a tint of color, then a tinted moisturizer will do you good. Obviously moisturized and it's just a tint of color. BB creams pretty much are a light foundation, a light tinted moisturizer as well. Some include SPF, some don't. It's supposed to make your skin look brighter, more illuminating. That's pretty much the difference between tinted moisturizer and BB cream. Powder foundation obviously is a powder. It's still a very light coverage. You're still able to see your skin through it. Whenever you use liquid foundation, it's recommended to use a powder foundation as well, just to set it and to make it more matte, and along the day the foundation won't fade throughout the day. And then obviously liquid foundation, which is where I get the most questions about, is can be light to medium to heavy coverage depending upon what you get. Now, when you're looking for a foundation, I recommend there are a few things you look at. Look at the ingredients. Foundations can break you out if they have certain ingredients in it. Everybody's different. However, I do have combination oily skin, so I like to make sure there's some type of oils in the foundations, because if there's oils in the foundation, it really does break me out. Another thing you want to look for in foundation is you want to see if it stays put. Some foundations, they transfer. When you hug someone, the foundation rubs off on their shirt, which is embarrassing. You might eat something, you rub off on your napkin, you can see it transfer. Horrible. That's like my #1 pet peeve. I don't like foundations that transfer. I know e.l.f. Flawless Finish foundation, it does transfer. If you hug somebody with a white t-shirt on, it's going to get all over their white t-shirt. So transferring is very important to me. Again, these three foundations I have, the MAC, the CoverGirl 3-in-1, and the Revlon Color Stay, none of these transfer. Another thing you want to look for in the foundation is the consistency. Is it easy to blend? Now, I said this in my beginner makeup video. If you don't know what color you are, there are different ways to test it. You can go to MAC, you can go to Sephora, and you can get your you can get matched for a shade. Sephora does a great job, as well as MAC, as giving you a as matching your skin color to a complexion. You can then take that swatch and go to a drugstore and find that exact same swatch. For example, you can get swatched at MAC, and then you can go to a drugstore and find a foundation that's similar to that complexion. Second thing I recommend when looking for a foundation, if you go to a drugstore, take a little bit of it, sanitary wise, and dab it on your hand, dab it on your face, just rub it in and see if it matches your skin tone. There's really the only ways you can match your skin tone is just by literally putting the foundation on your skin. You can't do by hand, because for example, my hand is actually darker than my face, so if I swatch my hand, I'm going to be off on a shade because my hand and my face are two different colors. So yeah, that's pretty much the only ways you can test out your foundations. Some foundations are kind of hard to blend. When blending, I personally prefer a flat top brush, and this is a powder brush from e.l.f., $3, and you're able to buff it in your skin. Other preferences people like when applying foundation besides a flat top, they might like a buffer brush, and this is one from Crown. It's a buffer brush. It's not flat top, it kind of has a circular, but it's great for applying liquids as well. Some people prefer a beauty blending sponge, which is another recommendation people like. Some people prefer a stripper brush. So these are generally the recommendations for a liquid foundation. These are usually what people prefer when they apply liquid foundations. Something that easily you won't be streaky, that you can buff into your skin, look as natural as possible, and something that applies the product evenly. So these are generally stuff I recommend for people with liquid foundation when applying it. I don't recommend you go out and buy like maybe blending it out, maybe probably do a beauty blending brush, or maybe a flat top or a stripper brush. These are usually what I see people apply foundation, especially on YouTube. Usually people use, you know, a brush similar to these, the similar structure and shape. Now, before applying a foundation, I do recommend a primer. A primer is going to, one, fill in your pores. It's going to make your foundation last longer. It's going to prevent oiliness, and it's just going to allow you to apply your foundation to an evenly clean canvas. People like me have really oily skin, so when applying foundation, the oil kind of oxidizes with that foundation and it just looks a mess. So I do recommend a primer. The primers I currently have and like are NYX Shine Killer, and I use this currently. I am in love with this. It's about $12 for a really small tube. It's not a big tube of primer at all, but I do love my Shine Killer just because it does eliminate shine. Another primer I love, which is a little bit more costly, is Pixi Flawless and Poreless Primer. I am in love with this primer. They sell this at my local Target. I love my Pixi Flawless Primer. This is a sample size from Ipsy, but I do love the Pixi Flawless Primer. They also have Smashbox Primer, which I'm currently out of, but the Smashbox Primer is also a really great primer as well. And then another primer I have, which is very drugstore, is L'Oreal Magic Perfecting Base. This is a good primer. You have to make sure you rub this completely in, because if you don't, it can get a little streaky if you don't completely rub it in. But I do recommend a primer for foundations. So you would apply the primer, then you would apply the foundation, and then you would apply the concealer. So the primer goes on first. When asked questions about makeup, I say think of it like painting. When you paint a wall, you apply the primer first, then you apply the paint. The same with skin. You apply the primer first to prime your face, prepare yourself for the foundation, then you apply the foundation. So yeah, that's a question I get asked quite a bit. What comes first, primer or the foundation? Primer always comes first. Whether it's eyeshadow, whether it's lip primer, whether it's face primer, primer comes first, then the product. Just because it's gonna. Now, when applying foundation, this is another question I get asked often. You want to match your skin. You don't want foundation that's a shade lighter. You don't want foundation that's a shade darker. You want foundation that matches your skin. When doing concealer, it's totally okay to have concealer that are a few shades lighter, because it's going to highlight your under eye. You can even do concealer that's darker for contouring. But as far as foundation should match your skin. It should look like your skin. You shouldn't have a when you apply foundation, it should look seamlessly. You shouldn't have foundation on between your neck and your face. Sometimes you have to mix foundations. If you have a really yellow tone, you have to mix foundation. If you have a really red tone, you have to mix. Sometimes you have to mix foundations if it doesn't match you exactly. So if you have to buy two foundations and they're both kind of similar to your complexions to mix in, you may have to do that. So yeah, if you can't find your shade in foundation, you may just have to buy two and mix to get your appropriate color. My favorite foundation, which if you watch my channel you know, is Revlon Color Stay in Oily Combination Skin, and I'm the color Caramel, whatever you may be. This is my favorite foundation, and it retails for less than $10. I love my Revlon Color Stay because, for one, I have oily combination skin, and it's made for oily combination skin. It gives me a matte look. It's very, very natural. It's easy to apply. It sets. I absolutely love my Revlon Color Stay foundation. They do have, I think they have dry skin as well. I think they have oily skin, so they may have both, but I do, my favorite foundation ever is Revlon Color Stay, and I started wearing this about a year ago, and I am just addicted to this. Now, another foundation I absolutely love is my CoverGirl 3-in-1, and this is the Yeah, CoverGirl Outlast Stay Fabulous 3-in-1, and I'm the color Tawny. And I like this foundation. The one thing I don't like about this foundation is I have oily combination skin. When it sets, it does not look good. It looks oily to me when it sets, but once it sets, I love it. Again, I love this more, but I'll give you this is what they look like combined. But I do like both of them. Now, another one of my favorites is my MAC Matchmaker foundation. Something that I wear on special occasions. I don't really wear this out a lot just because it's a bit pricey, but I do love my MAC foundation. It sets wonderfully and it's just a great foundation. I do have a few other foundations which I don't too much care for. Maybelline Fit foundation. I hate it. I hate it. People with dry skin generally love this foundation. It's just too oily for me. I have oily combination skin and this is just so oily on my skin. Oh God, if you have dry skin, you may love this. If you have oily skin, I say stay away, stay away, stay away. e.l.f. foundation, probably the worst foundation ever, just because if you hug somebody, it's gonna get all over their shirt. It fades throughout the day. When it sets, it looks so ugly, but it's a great foundation once it's set. But while it's setting, we first apply it, hideous, hideous, hideous. As well as my L'Oreal True Match foundation, it just looks cakey. Not a fan. And then I have CoverGirl Clean Whipped foundation, and it is a different type of foundation. It's not liquid. It's a cream based. Still very light coverage. It feels like skin. Like you forget that you're even wearing foundation with this CoverGirl Whip foundation. And I am 365 in this color, just in case you guys want to know. So those are the foundations I have. I also have NYC Skin Matching Foundation in Cocoa Light. It's okay. It actually kind of reminds me of tinted moisturizer. It's very, very light coverage. So all these, for the most part, you can get from drugstore brands. That's pretty much the foundation 101. I get questions so often. So I hope I've answered a few of the really simple beginner questions for foundations. If you have any questions, please write down below, because if you have a question, I'm pretty sure somebody else has that same exact question. So write down below any questions. I will respond back and answer those. I really try my best to answer any questions, many makeup questions. If I don't answer makeup question, more than likely I've said it in the video. It's in the bottom description bar, or somebody else has already asked it and I've given an answer. But yeah, if you have any questions, let me know, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye. Oh, and please be sure to subscribe, comment, and rate. If you are beginner makeup, I like to focus this channel around beginner makeup. So if you have any questions, feel free to write me, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.